Are you as ready as I am for Nicolas Hoult and Nicolas Cage in Renfield? I mean, after hearing about what filming was like for this movie, I am so mad I can't watch it right now. Nick Hoult had to do everything for this movie. I'm talking about dramatic sequences, bloody fight scenes, hilarious moments,
oh, God bless you, none,
and a ton of time in the makeup chair. What proved to be the most difficult was forging the relationship with Dracula that had to believably seem like it was centuries old. This came from a ton of rehearsal time with the other Nicolas, Nick Cage. The two built a rapport that they described as something
like a dance.
The two had to be so in sync that they could flow together with non-verbal communication. So when you watch the movie, keep your eye out for how the two move together as a team. Now that's all well and good, but could I ask you to like and subscribe real quick so I can get to the main event? Nick Cage. No offense, Holt, but everybody is going to see this movie because Nick freaking Cage is playing Dracula. Turns out the man himself is even more excited about the part than we are, too. Cage said that there were 3 big roles he wanted to play in his career. They were Superman, Captain Nemo, and Count Dracula. He very nearly got his wish with Kevin Smith's Superman Lives, but had to settle for voicing Superman in Teen Titans Go to the movies.
Well, it is important to have dreams, I guess.
Now, Cage has a chance to get another of the big 3 off his list, and he's taking the job very seriously.
I just think's come in 3s. It's a good number.
As far as his influences go, there are the ones you'd expect. I'm talking about Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee, and even Gary Oldman from Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Nick Cage's own uncle, Francis Ford Coppola. He even asked the famous director what advice he would give about playing Dracula. Coppola apparently told him that Dracula should be handsome. When Cage described his garish version of Dracula like some kind of Picasso painting, Coppola said that didn't matter. This led Cage to find what was glamorous about his Dracula beneath all of that white and blue makeup and those long teeth of his. What might surprise you is Cage's biggest influence for playing Dracula. While he said that Christopher Lee was his favorite, the only right answer, by the way, he wasn't the person Cage was channeling in his performance. Believe it or not, Cage said his main inspiration was his own father.
He was a perfect model for Dracula.
Okay, so this got me really excited because I love the theory that Nick Cage has secretly been a vampire this whole time. While my first reaction was, Nick Cage is a vampire confirmed, the truth is that Cage's dad wasn't a bloodsucker or even all that mean of a guy. No, what August Coppola, the brother of Francis Ford Coppola, was apparently an eloquent speaker with a very distinctive cadence. The closest you'll ever get to hearing August himself is to hear Cage's Dracula. And that should tell you just how hard Cage went with his performance. It's been reported that Cage went full method for Renfield, staying in character as Dracula while shooting the whole thing. I emailed Nick Cage to ask if this meant he drank the blood of humans to prepare, but strangely enough, he did not email me back. While he may or may not have had real humans for lunch every day, the makeup process was just as intense. It took 3 full hours to get Cage into the full getup. Not only that, but it required dental work. He legit had his teeth shaved down so that his 3D printed teeth wouldn't affect the way he spoke. So, put all this together and you have one of the most iconic Dracula performances of all time, right? Well, not according to the man himself. He said he never felt like he fully got the character down for the role. Though he did say that he wanted another shot with those fangs. Something tells me director Chris McKay may be down for that too. For director Chris McKay, this was quite the passion project. He and writer Robert Kirkman, The Walking Dead's Robert Kirkman, were really excited about entering this world from another character's perspective. And what you might not know about the movie is that it's actually a sequel. Oh yeah, Chris McKay actually intends this to be a sequel to Todd Browning's famous Dracula with Bela Lugosi. You can actually see it in the black and white scenes that somewhat recreate the events of the original movie, though I've seen the original and I don't remember it having quite so many brutal fight scenes in it. So if you've seen the trailers, you know that Renfield has just a sprinkle of superhero-style action on top of all that vampire horror. This proved to be a unique challenge, not just for Nicolas Hoult, but for stunt coordinator Chris Brewster. And according to Brewster, this movie was the most fun thing ever, largely thanks to Chris McKay. On most films, a guy like Brewster meets with the director to see what the parameters of the action scenes are, basically finding out how far is too far. Well, there was no too far for Chris McKay. The only one pumping the brakes seems to be Nicolas Hoult himself. You see, while Renfield may be able to eat an insect and then fight like he's Quentin Tarantino's Spider-Man, Renfield himself is still a shy person who doesn't love all the violence. He had to work with Brewster to make sure that while Renfield was brutalizing people, he wasn't like Jason Bourne or other action heroes. Honestly, I would love to see that conversation between Hoult and Brewster as they break down each scene beat by beat to determine when Renfield should feel bad about disarming someone. Literally. Psst. Kevin Feige, I know you're working on a Blade movie right now. Well, Nick Cage wants to play Dracula again. Why not let him fight Mahershala Ali? Tell me that's not a summer blockbuster.